Sometimes to get the train you want, you have to be up early. Today, that meant a 4:30 wake-up call and getting on the road by 5. After a quick stop at Walmart to get a new SD card, I was rolling into Staunton, Virginia, and the home of the Shenandoah Valley Railroad. The Shenandoah Valley Railroad is a Class 3 short-line operator in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. Due to the repainting of GP9 6512, it has been arranged that today's local will be operating with all three of the classic SVRR locomotives. 6512 formerly wore worn-down B&O Capitol Dome paint, but was repainted into a B&O reminiscent Shenandoah Valley paint scheme matching C&O's sister GP9 5940. The third locomotive for today's run is DGVR 367, a former Norfolk and Western ALCO RS11. It's a good thing I got here when I did, because just after 8 the crew was ready to gather their train. After lining a switch, the crew reverses into the yard to gather their 11 hoppers. "20 minutes later, DGVR 6512 leads the charge out of Staunton and through the rock cut just to the north of the yard. Track speed on the SVRR is slow enough to get around them fairly easily, and today's special run has brought out many rail fans doing just that. Just to the north of Staunton, at Bell's Lane Road, the three classic locomotives rock down the old jointed rail, likely dating to the days of the B&O. By Verona, I was already ahead of them again, so I would swing to the north end of town and set up at the Middle River Bridge off of Mills Race Road. Using my drone to get a vantage point, I thought I had somehow missed them as it took nearly 10 minutes for them to get through town. Luckily, I stood my ground and waited for them to pass by. Up to Kieseltown Road, you can see the posse of railfans that are also chasing the train north. I decided to shoot from the other side of the tracks, avoiding some of the clutter. It wasn't long until 6512 was rounding the corner. At 09:15, the SVRR local arrives into Weyers Cave to switch one of their largest customers, Houff, who specializes in train-to-truck transfer. The crew will be shuffling around some cars, including spotting some cars already in the siding into the industry tracks. DGVR 367 was originally built as Norfolk and Western 367, still retaining its as-built model number 67 years later. Just as with all other RS11s, it is equipped with radiator intake shutters to control the amount of air being brought in. After grabbing cars from the siding, the crew shoves back to their 11 cars they have just brought north. The conductor walks the train back to a connection before asking for a stretch and then 3-step protection. From there, they pull ahead to clear the switch. With all of their cars gathered, back into Houff they shove. They would continue swapping around empties and loads within the facility for the next 2 hours, eventually shoving out of sight to the south end of the yard. I would head to Fort Defiance, where an hour wait would ensue before DGVR 367 leads the charge south. The southbound return trip would only be 3 cars back to Staunton. At Verona, the SVRR has an old siding used to store their MOW equipment. At 12:29, the ALCO RS11 breaks the silence as it heads back south. Just to the south of town, I was back beside the SVRR local as it nears Staunton along US Highway 11. Traffic lights weren't aiding me in the chase today, allowing 367 to keep pace with me. At milepost 23.7, the Shenandoah Valley Railroad passes the Virginia State Police Station just a mile away from their yard in Staunton. as they slow for their approach into Staunton, I was able to get ahead of them once again at the north end of the yard. There, they would shove their 3 hoppers onto the interchange track with the Buckingham Branch Railroad, and then return to their shops. After holding short to allow a conductor to line a switch, 367 heads south into the yard as they call it a day. Thank you all for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a comment down below, along with liking and subscribing. I hope to see you next weekend as we head to California in the Yosemite Sugar Pine Railroad. Until then, this is Commonwealth Rail, out.